So we have a really good episode for you today. Today, our winning streak continues. I think we had one exception in the last 2 weeks. Pretty much we've been going up every week. Today, the market went up about 0.5%. We went up about 1.5%. So that's, I don't know, about 3 to 1. That's kind of our ratio. Whatever the market goes up, we tend to triple, if not quadruple. So maybe we should feel bad that we're not quadrupling it. Overall, it's a mixed bag. Kind of look through here, just, first glance, you see just a mix of red and green, probably a little bit more green than red, but for the most part, it's roughly the same. We did have a big winner today. Every, this is our, basically the stock. This is a company that makes ATMs and does card swipe transactions for casinos. They went up 10%. Other than that, I don't really know that we had any really big winner today. I think we had a couple that were decent. Velocity went up 3%. AVCT went up 3%, and DraftKings went up 4.5%. So I guess that's maybe another one that we had here. Overall, the big thing that we noticed today, well, we'll touch on that. Everything's kind of even. It's about 2:50 Pacific time here today right now. A couple big themes that we're looking at. Stocks are rising. Investors are betting on a strong earnings season. So this is going to be the earnings season coming out for the third quarter, which is going to be really, really good. I mean, you heard Trump talk about it all the time, how Q3 is going to be amazing. It's going to be right before the election, and you're going to see a lot of companies report their earnings, through the month of October. So it's important to make sure that, considering that everybody, I don't think there's any dispute that this Q3 is going to be amazing. It's important that you get your stocks in beforehand. So, for example, if you knew the Lakers were going to win in 6 games, you probably want to bet the Lakers are going to win in 6 games. And we know this earnings season is going to be amazing. So you make sure you want to get your portfolio in. If there's any stocks that you see, I would get them in sooner than later. Also, it's kind of interesting. I read this article, and it was kind of something you expect to see in like the year 1999 or 2000. Global stocks rise as hopes for prompt fiscal stimulus revive the buy everything trade. In other words, they're expecting a Q3 that's through the roof, and it really doesn't matter what you buy because stocks are going up. So it's better to get in first, take the profit, and if you want to get out later, fine, so be it. If you want to hold it for a while and have it appreciate even more, then so be it as well. But really, I mean, this is pretty much all you need to hear. So if you're wondering if you should buy the stock that you're looking at, you should definitely do that. Now, to that effect, looking at some of the stocks that we have, I actually did the same thing. ICAGI, which went down like 20 some odd percent a few days ago, I think maybe late last week, I was like, well, this is a great stock. It dipped because they basically, and we covered this in a prior video where the stock went down because they created new shares. And so it kind of diluted the shares that were there. But the performance of the airline isn't changing at all. So I said, I'm just going to buy it again. We bought it at 280. It's sitting just below 280 right now, which is fine. We're sitting at almost a 6-to-1 upside, so that's a no-brainer, and that one filled. And then today we looked at as well PBF, so we'll go into PBF today. Let's see, where is PBF? Basically went down 0.5% today, and we took a look at them, and I was trying to say maybe today's the day we buy some stocks in the red and dilute out the cost basis. So of all the ones that I had here, it's an oil stock. I thought this one's just when the earnings reports come out and as the economy continues to get more robust, you're going to see the price of oil go up. It's about $39 today, and it's down. So this one's down 35%, which is the most of these four. And so I thought, okay, let's do that. So right now, PBF is sitting at 6.14. We bought it at 9.50. So I'm figuring, okay, if this goes down to $6, we'll buy another 150 shares because we already have 150 shares there. So we're literally just going to cut the difference in the cost basis in half. So between 6 and 950, what's 350? So it'll be 775 will be our cost basis. It's a beautiful thing. We don't own a ton of PBF, so this will help increase our portfolio. Instead of 1425, add another 900 to it. So, but that's going to have an upside of close to 5 to 1. So we put that limit order today. We'll see if that posts. Overall, we started the day at 85.9. We ended the day at 86.9, 49% basically, from what we bought our current portfolio at. And then from the initial deposit of a little below 34,000, we're at 105%. So we've more than doubled our portfolio, and this is in 6 months. So pretty nice return. That being said, leader in the clubhouse, I'm still surprised. I can't believe this is our leader in the clubhouse, is Signet Jewelers. They basically do mall jewelry stores. We're on its way to quadrupling our return on that. Caesars Entertainment, basically the casino in Vegas and all their subsequent properties and related properties, we've tripled it. Crestwood Equities and Oil Stock, we've basically tripled it there. Redwood Trust is a REIT. We've basically tripled it there. PVAC is on its way to being tripled, and Every just jumped over 100%, so now we've officially doubled Every. And I still think this Every stock is poised to be probably one of the top 3 stocks that I'm going to have when everything's said and done. So I have much higher hopes and expectations that this stock is going to go through the roof. I mean, after all, they're doing all the cash transactions for casinos. So the more people that go through casinos, the more people that gamble. This is just an absolute no-brainer stock, in my opinion. And to that effect, it's sitting here with a 100% buy rating. So all the people who are analysts for this stock basically agree the same thing. So, all right. So with that being said, we're on pace for about $323,000 as a net value for the portfolio. And again, I always recommend having a goal that you're shooting for. That way you're not just looking at the fluctuations of the dollar amount. So we're looking at about $325,000. That's basically our beach house by the ocean here in San Diego. So that's what we're shooting for, and we're shooting to do it by probably March is kind of where we're going for that. So with that being said, we always talk about COVID just because it's just, it drives everything. 1 death in a county of 3 million people in the last day. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Number of cases on the decline. You can see a clear trend line right here going down. Daily testing. They're actually starting to test more, which is kind of crazy. This has been going down as a trend line. But then the positivity rate is literally just about as low as it's ever been. It's been at 2.89. The lowest we had was a small little negative spike at 2.54. But realistically, this is about as low as it's ever been since they've started tracking it. Hospitalizations have cratered. I mean, we're now in double-digit hospitals. We've been there for a while. Hospital beds in use, I looked, and this is actually the lowest it's ever been since they've tracked it at 248 out of a bed capacity of basically 6,000. I don't know why they took beds away. Who knows? I have no idea. But basically, I mean, this is, if we remember when they talked about flattening the curve to basically save the hospital capacity, this is literally perfect. I mean, it's almost like COVID didn't even exist. Deaths by day, I mean, we're sitting a clear trend line. We were seeing the average is about one right there, 1 per day. And if we start to look at the death count, basically look at the age, 73, 74, 67, 68, 62. It's like literally it's killing off the AARP reverse mortgage market. 68, 72, and these are all underlying health conditions, right? 68, 72, 68, 85, 80, 59, 89, 55, 85, 61. 49 is the lowest one. They have an underlying health condition. 70, 78, 70, 62, 8, 68, 54, 83, 85, 69, 76. The whole get off my lawn crowd are the ones that are being affected most. Look at this. If you're under 20, there have been, 5,000, 6,000, basically almost 7,000 positive cases. 100 of them were ever hospitalized. Nobody died. I don't know why the schools are closed. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you look at people in their 20s, this is a horse race that they're just smoking. 13,000 positive tests. Only 200 went to the hospital. 4 of them died, and I bet you all 4 of them had underlying health conditions. Probably diabetes too, more than likely. And then racial breakdown. For whatever reason, the Hispanic and Latino community is getting killed by this. I don't know why that is, but Just kind of shows you where they're at. And then if we look at, I think there was one other one I wanted to look at. Yeah, cases. Look at this. Case rate per 100,000. It literally just follows the border. So unless you live by the border, it's not really affecting you too much. I mean, look at how light some of these. Let's zoom out of this. And look at this. Case rate per 10,000 for most of our county here in San Diego. You know, if you're sitting here anywhere outside of the border, I mean, you're totally in the green. So it's getting to a point where you can't even call it a pandemic, at least here. I'm guessing where you live, if you're not in San Diego, it's probably not a whole lot different from where you are, but it's getting to a point where it's almost being negligible at this point. And just to show you how stupid our governor is here in California, so we have an average testing rate of 3.5%. We're now under 3% as a whole, so it's going down. But he created this thing called a health equity score, and it's basically the positivity rate among the worst hit areas. So, you know, if we talked about the fact that the Hispanic and Latino community were getting nailed, so this is their positivity rate at 6.2. So they're literally having the tiers set up as far as opening businesses according to the worst hit areas. So if everybody is by the border, let's see, where was this at here? If everybody getting hit is by the border right here, then they basically treat all the people way up here in Oceanside and all the people up here who aren't getting hit as if they're here. So the same businesses that are closed here are closed up here, even though these people aren't experiencing anything. Stupid governor, his time in Sacramento is not going to last very long. But anyway, lastly, just keep in mind things are going positive in the next day. This is earnings season. Just two things to remember as you go forward, and these are not me saying this. Investors are betting on a strong earnings season, but you only get paid if you invest before the earnings call. So get started. Get your free stock on Robinhood. There's a link in the video description to do that. There's also a link for the spreadsheet that we have here that you can use for yourself if you'd like. And then also, this is something like you'd read in 1999 or 2000. Basically, people are starting the talk of buy everything, which is the whole reason that I'm doing this is because when you drop the price of a stock for a non-market related reason, because there's a temporary pandemic, it just means that you can make a killing if you buy low. And we're still low, and we're nowhere near the point where you'd be looking to exit. So it's time to get in. It's a no-brainer. People with a 42 IQ will make money. If you got over a 42 IQ and it's higher than 42, you're going to make more money for every IQ point. But you got to get in, get your stock. With that being said, I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully we have some cool updates for you then. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.